There was a video that stuck with me, man, with Shia LaBeouf when he was doing a podcast where it was something along the lines of, part of being a man is you kind of have to fuck it all up. Like, you've kind of got to get rid of your old shit so that you can find your new shit and become a better person. So fucking your life up isn't bad, man. Like, take that as an opportunity to become better and to do better. That's how I took it from it, and I watch it every single day.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Jester Radio. Joined by the usual man, Christopher, and our guest today, Connor. And we're going to delve into some mental health within sport, within, being a male in general. And hopefully you guys can learn something. Hopefully we all can learn something maybe from each other. So thank you for watching. And Connor, bro, welcome and thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me, guys. I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk about this topic with everybody.
Bro, I'm going to ask you to talk more into that thing. Yeah, like that's perfect. Chris, welcome again, bro. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, bro, but I'm not used to, like I said, now. This is weird. I'm used to, it looks dodgy. I'm just putting it out there.
Just chill literally like this and cruise.
It looks dodgy. So guys, please don't get any ideas from this shit at all. But anyway, yeah.
So, bro, getting straight into it, what brought about your want to chat about mental health in sports in general? Has it been something that you've, been working through?
Yeah, man. So currently, I would say for the last 5 weeks, I've been battling severely with my mental health. And, I started posting about it because when I first got diagnosed with anxiety and depression disorder, I made it, I wouldn't say a goal, but I made it like something for me to put out there. If you're good at following on social media, speak about something that adds value to people's lives, especially being us males. We don't like speaking about mental health. We prefer to just sweep it under the rug, get over it and move on. And then eventually what started happening on my end is I started projecting. So I started projecting onto the people that were closest to me, so I started to feel terrible inside, and then I ended up pushing everybody else away. And it got to the point where, you end up losing people closest to you, and it's just, that's not how it should be. So again, last night, I told you, we went out last night, just had a couple of drinks with the guys. And there was a mate that came up to me, and he plays rugby for UJ. And he said to me, thank you so much for sharing what you've been sharing, because I can't speak like that. And there's so many other guys that have messaged me at the same time that have also said, please carry on doing what you're doing, because we can't, and it shouldn't be like that.
Why do you think it is as males? I think, is it mainly just because of maybe like our parents' generation with like military and everything, where it's weakness to express anything that might be bothering you, or like why do you think as males we can't? Well, we think we're not able to maybe express things that we might be going through. Chris,
to be honest, bro, I don't even know, bro. I just, I'm definitely I don't have the balls like he's got to speak out, bro. Even in general, just something bugs me. I'm always to myself about it. And look, I haven't been raised in a house. I've been raised in a house where, it's okay. You want to speak, you want to speak. Yeah. I never really spoke, if I was being in relationships now with regards to my parents, I'd tell my mom everything. I think my mom knows absolutely everything about me. So if I had things bugging me, something was upsetting me, my mom was open to taking in whatever I had to say. So it didn't, I've had the platform to speak out in terms of things that are bugging me, stuff that's going on. If I need a vent, my mom was there to take it all in. But
that's as you said, you wouldn't have the balls to maybe put it on social media or blurt it out in a group environment or something. So why do you think, in the comfort of our own home with our parents or whatever, we're happy to do it? But when it's something that's public, is it because we might find it embarrassing, or we think, as men, we shouldn't have these problems? Obviously, everyone knows that men do have all the same issues that maybe women have. They just might be more open to expressing them. Yeah. So why do you think maybe, and I know personally, maybe it's just a persona that you would want to put out, is that you are strong and that you don't have anxiety or you don't worry about things, because that just has the connotations of being weaker.
Yeah, so for me, I feel as if you just want to be seen as a person that's hard. You want to be seen as this tough guy, that walks around chest out, doesn't have any issues, but inside you are holding in so much shit that you just want to get out, but you have no idea how to. You know, some people don't have the option to speak to parents.
Yes,
because parents don't have that sort of relationship with them. So there's a lot of guys and girls too that don't have the luxury of doing that. So for me, I've also, exactly like you, been raised in a loving home. I've been able to speak to my parents about anything since I was a young age. And they said to me also when I was 16 years old, you make the decisions. If you don't want our input, then you make the decisions and you live with them. So that's how I've been throughout my life. And then, you know, it got to the point, like I said, when I got into my really bad depressed state 5 weeks ago, that maybe it's time for me to seek help. Maybe it's time to go out there and start looking for a therapist that can help me and point me in the right direction. Because, you know, your parents are always going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So having a therapist, somebody that's from the exterior that can see in and knows exactly and give you the exact pointers and tips of what you need to work on. So, and for me, I feel as if so much shit could have been resolved for me personally if I had have just bitten the bullet and done it
a little bit sooner. Yeah.
So what, if you're open to talking about, you know, what 5 months ago brought about, you know, the biggest change in, you know, feeling more of those, you know, negative emotions? Well, not even negative.
Jeez,
because
man.
that's...
So if I can be honest with you, I feel as if there's like this black cloud that has been following me for the past year. So after we did the pro qualifier, you know, I decided that I'm going to take the year off and I'm going to put on as much size as I can, and I'm going to only compete when I feel as if I was ready and I had a pro physique. Because a lot of guys, I feel as if chase the pro card when they don't have the pro physique, and I was one of those guys. I was chasing a pro card and I wasn't ready for a pro card, and everything was going well, picking up massive weights. Everything was good in the, you know, mental health states along those lines. And then I tore the ligaments in my wrist, and then I was out for 8 weeks. I was in the cast. And then I came out of the cast, and literally the day I came out of the cast, I was involved in a head-on collision.
Jeez, look.
And then my car went in, and then it came back like 6 weeks later after being repaired. And then 2 weeks after getting that, a truck's tire blew up in front of my car and smashed the car again.
Oh, my word.
And then 2 months after that, I ended up losing my grandfather. And then January came this year, and we went out for lunch, and ended up getting like severe food poisoning that led to complete dehydration. And within 6 hours, man, like I was done. I was hallucinating. I was speaking to my daughter that obviously lives overseas. I was speaking to my dead grandfather. So I got rushed into hospital. And then the following week, went down to Durban for my new job to get started. And then coming back home, 5 kilometers from home, I was involved in an accident again.
Cheapest, no.
But nothing that I could have controlled, because there was 2 cars in front of me.
Yes.
That ended up hitting construction signs. The construction signs that ended up smacking me. So it was just like, it was a whole bunch of things that just led up to me just caving in. And obviously for me, the main thing for me is being away from my daughter. So, you know, she lives in America. I FaceTime her every single week. I speak to her on the phone. But watching her grow up through FaceTime is super hard.
Yes.
And I don't think people actually realize how hard it is. And the people closest to you, they don't want to speak to you about it, like my parents. They don't want to speak to me about it because they know that it's such a touchy subject.
Yeah.
So, you know, if people do speak to me about it, it's an open conversation just to have, but I would never dive in and tell them like, you know, she's my absolute world and I miss her more than anything. And like, you know.
Yeah, you'd give them the information that you're comfortable with, obviously not divulging into general conversation about it. Dude, that is hectic, bro. That is literally, I can understand the epitome of bad luck. Like nothing going your way whatsoever. The fact with just constant accidents alone,
And it's not that I sit here and I'm like, oh, woe's me. Oh, fuck, everything keeps going wrong in my life. Because there's a lot of positives that have happened in that time period too that I've got to look at.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's hard to look at the positives when you constantly have bad things going wrong. True. But what I've learned, obviously, through therapy and obviously from speaking out about it now, is that everything in life is not always going to be good. You've got to accept the good with the bad.
Yeah.
So although there's bad stuff happening, there's good stuff that's happening too. And also, not every day is going to be dark, and not every night is going to be,
I think that's also in a misconception in life in general, is people always searching for happiness.
Yeah.
Where anywhere does it say that life is you can find all the amount of happiness in the world? Like, there's nothing in life where like you reach a certain point and then you're happy. It's a constant battle to make decisions that are, so essentially in this book I was reading, it's saying there's going to be challenges in everything. There's going to be choices that bring about challenges that you're going to face. So you're going to go and, let's say, owning your own business. That brings about challenges, and it brings about, certain things that are going to be challenging, and it's going to bring about unhappiness and happiness. If you work for someone else, there's going to be different challenges that is going to bring about unhappiness and happiness. So all life actually is about choosing challenges that you enjoy going through, which make you more happier. So essentially it's a choice between, because there's no like one direction that you can go where you can be more happy or more fulfilled, unless that way you go is the direction that brings you more happiness. So for example, let's like use Chris and I, for example. I don't enjoy, being told I have to go somewhere at a certain time. So, but by me not having, an employer and being my own boss, my salary isn't guaranteed.
Yeah.
So there's those stresses. So yes, I have now more freedom of time, whereas Chris, obviously at school, you have to be at school.
Yeah.
So I have more freedom of time, and that brings about different challenges, but challenges I'm willing to go through. Yeah. Whereas it brings about stress and worry about, am I going to have enough money this month? Am I going to lose clients? Am I going to do that? So there's no one route that brings about more happiness, unless you choose challenges and go headfirst into challenges that bring about more happiness and, make you slightly more positive. Because at the end of the day, there's no difference between the amount of happiness that I would have in my job or if I had to go and now do Chris's job. It's my mindset in that situation. It's how I am looking at it. Because if you're in a position, you need to just decide to be happy.
Yeah.
And you need to decide to, look at the positives, because life happens, to you, not for you.
Yeah.
Like life happens, it's about how you handle what is happening
100%.
Going forward.
That's what I said last night to that I was speaking, the rugby player from UJ. I said to him that I feel as if so many of our problems and the anxiety that we have is because we're so busy focused on 1 year from now, or 2 years from now, or our 5-year goal, that we're forgetting to actually live for today and for tomorrow, and set 6 weeks goal or a 4-week goal. And I think if we just had to set those small little achievements and those daily tasks, a lot of the stresses and a lot of the issues that we have would slowly but surely start to diminish, and we would appreciate life a lot more. So that's what I've tried to start do now. So I've started to like look back and think, okay, well, I was in a terrible place 4 weeks ago to where I'm at now, where I'm sitting here with you guys and I'm laughing and I'm joking.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying on with my life. Whereas 4 weeks ago, I didn't want to do anything. Like I didn't want to leave my house. I just thought, actually to the point where I thought, well, maybe I must just OD on my pills or on my prescription medication.
Yeah.
So I researched it, and that's when I told my therapist. My therapist said to me, well, enough is enough. That's not happening.
Yeah. No.
So, and there's so many people that go through the same thing, man, but they don't, like I said, it goes in sports, and it goes in business, it goes in everyday life. They don't want to speak about it, so they would rather just, okay, well, I think they have the misconception that nobody cares about me, because I was that guy too.
Yes.
Like I had people that absolutely loved me dearly, but I still thought that I was just not good enough, and that I wasn't.
Do you think that you felt that way not because of how they've treated you, but maybe because of mistakes or whatever problems that you had in your life, that you weren't deserving of them caring?
100%. So this was another topic that I was thinking about. A lot of the depression for me that I feel as if I have, and I'm sure a lot of other people can relate, is regret, loneliness, and anxiety. And that's where my depression comes from, because, I regret a lot of the times how I treated certain people and how the things that I did to put myself in the situations that I was in, the loneliness of then having to sit there and think about everything that I did, and then the anxiousness of not knowing what's going to happen in a month's time or in 2 months' time, or what's going to come from it. So, yeah, going back to what you said, man, 100%. Regret is a massive, massive issue that I think leads into a lot of people, sportsmen in particular too. Well, if I hadn't have done this, or if I had have done this differently, or if I had have gone to that sporting club, or if I had have competed in that show, maybe I would have been different. So, or if I had have gone to that coach and he would have coached me, maybe I would have got a pro card. It's a constant overthinking cycle it's not worth it.
And I think a lot of people suffer from, overthinking. I know personally, I would say for the first 24 years of my life, I was, riddled with overthinking constantly. And, I was in a time in my life where I was like, no, it's helped me be more successful. Overthinking has helped me, do certain things because I've given it so much thought. But it made me so unhappy in the process. So, there's things that now, fortunately, I've come to a realization, you can't overthink things you can't control.
No.
Because you can think of a billion different alternatives that could happen, or billion different problems that could go through in your life. But at the end of the day, they're not in your control. I could worry about, is that person going to go behind my back? Is this person going to do that? And then it could be so many possibilities that you've cultivated in your own mind that are so far from what's even, possible.
Not going to happen.
Exactly. And it's not even going to happen. Nothing is going to be even close to what you're thinking. And either way, thinking, and actually, people can have different opinions on Andrew Tate, but the one quote I think stuck with me the best is he was saying, why are people sad in advance? Why are people constantly worried about something in advance? Waiting for something bad to happen and being unhappy now in advance. Something bad is going to happen down the line.
Yeah.
Just be happy now. Flat tire, big whoop. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Stuck in traffic, big whoop. You get to listen to more music. It's all about your mindset in those particular situations. 100%. Because, I've had tons of times where I've been so angry that I'm in traffic. And then there's other times where I'll be like, okay, well, now I can just listen to more of this podcast. Big whoop. What is being angry for half an hour of this trip going to change? The half an hour is going to be the same time period of traffic. Yeah. Rather just be happy in that time period. And then when you get past that time period, you're not taking it on other people, and then it's like a domino effect. The more unhappy you are, it just goes out and spreads out. It's like a virus.
I don't know if you guys have ever read the book The Secret. You haven't. So it's pretty much the book about manifestations.
I'm interested in your perception of this because I know the book.
You've probably read it, eh?
So okay, talk about it first.
So for me, it's when I read the book, I've read it 3 times. Okay, and the first time that I read it, I did everything that I could to do it, because at that time I was living overseas. I was playing rugby. I was contracted, and I really wanted to get my green card. So I was trying to manifest getting that green card.
So in this manifestation, how are you manifesting? Because there's so many different ways people manifest.
Just being as positive as possible, man. And believe it or not, at that time that I was trying to be as positive as possible was the happiest that I've ever been.
But did it change your actions as well?
Yeah, 100%.
So, yes, okay. So, finish your point.
So, for me, I feel as if it's the same thing. If you're constantly putting out negative energy, it's what you're going to get back.
Yes.
So, you've got to try and change it. Although, like I said, so much bad shit has gone on. You've got to just try and pull yourself towards yourself and say, well, you know what, there's other positives that are happening around me. I need to see them and at least take some positivity out, because if you constantly take all the negative stuff that's happening, you're going to get stuck in this rut that's going to be so hard to get out of. And it's not worth it, man. Then you sit there and you're overthinking, like you said, and you're thinking of stuff that isn't even going to happen. It's not even in the equation. But you put yourself through that, and it's not. And ultimately, if you constantly think about it, it's probably going to happen too. There is some sort of connection that if you're thinking of something bad.
If you're looking for a red car, you're going to see a red car.
Yeah.
So that the only thing my gripe with The Secret is it doesn't talk enough about action within manifestation. You know,
I do find as if it repeated a lot of itself.
Yes, it's too much of just believe it, just be positive. You know, have that mindset that you're gonna be rich. Instead of just saying, have that mindset that you're gonna be rich, but do the work to make it a reality. You know, it's not like, now, I'm not going to go and apply for that job. I'm going to have the mindset that I'm going to get a better job, and then you just wait for the opportunity and it doesn't happen. So that's the only thing that's maybe like wrong with The Secret, is that it doesn't talk as much about action. But you know, the more positive you are, let's say while you're there still playing rugby, the more positive you are, the more happy are you gonna when you go to practice. The more positive you are while you're practicing, the better you're gonna perform. You're gonna perform better, which is then gonna show the coaches that you're positive, you're working hard, you're working well with others because you're positive. Then you get a better slot on the team. You're not on the bench. You play well because you're positive. If you don't perform as well, you're still more positive because you're like, okay, I can do better. Let me go on Monday, practice hard, work harder. Then you can, you know, it just keeps on going, and then you're in the silo of positivity. Whereas the opposite, the converse, is the negative, and then you're stuck in a rut. Chris, I know obviously with you, you're dealing with people on a large scale, you know, like 25, 30 people, whatever in the class. I'm sure you've also seen, even with a difficult child, the happier and more positive you are with them, they start to reciprocate more than if you're constantly grumpy and angry.
But that's the thing, bro. Like, I mean, dealing with all the kids in class and that stuff, dude. It's literally like I'm one of those, and it's every time I go into class, when I meet my kids for the first time, it's like, okay, cool. I'm generally a positive person. I'm not one person to be negative the whole time. I always try to look for the positive in every single aspect that I do. So with them, it's like, okay, you've got a child that sits there and it's constant negativity that comes from them. And look, I mean, I will constantly be like, they're like, oh, sir, I'm not getting this right. I'm not grasping this. I don't know how to do this. And I'm like, okay, let's just chill. Let's find a solution. How are we going to fix this? How are we going to go about it now? What's a way to answer this particular question? And I mean, look, I don't let my kids rub there. If they're having a bad day, you know, I will go up to them and be like, okay, what's going on? Talk to me. What can we do about this? Try to help them as best as I possibly can. Whether it works, I don't know. Because I don't know what happens behind closed doors. The moment they leave those school grounds, I'm like, okay, today I felt good about helping this child that's possibly going through a difficult time. And, I mean, the children look at us as basically their second parents, you could say.
You'd probably spend more time with the kids than the parents.
But that's the thing. It's us as teachers, we do, is I spend more time with them. I get to know them extremely well. The ones that choose to confide in me will confide in me. And look, I'm no expert when it comes to mental health. Realizing depression, anxiety, I've gotten better with it because of Steph, my girlfriend. She suffers from it. I've learned a lot from that aspect of things, but I'm still not clued up fully with regards to it. So like I say, something as simple as, I'll bring up the story. So I had a learner last year that committed suicide because unbeknownst to me, I wasn't 100% sure, but apparently it was along the lines of depression and all of that type of stuff. And what upset me so much with regards to that, he looked at him in class, happy as can be.
It's always
happiest human being. When I spoke to him and he would always come and speak to me, we would have long conversations. And next minute I found out that happened. And I was like, why? What do I do? How do I approach this? Because now it's someone who looked perfectly okay. And then all of that stuff happened. And I was just like, no, it's intense. And that's after that, it's been like, you know, I've stressed it to my learners as well. Like, if you're going through something bad, like, you know, and you can see that they're negative in class, like I say, I'm trying to be an uplifting person, try to be positive. Come speak to me. I'll do my best to try help the situation. I'm not going to be able to master it. Whether it's going to help you or not, I don't know.
But this is exactly the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Is because, you know, there's those people that are too scared to take that first step.
Yes.
So if they see somebody else take it and they think, okay, well, if he's doing it, then, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can go and for help.
Yeah.
So it goes like for the learners that you've just said now.
Yeah.
All they really need is just for one person to go up and speak to you.
Exactly.
But the main thing is that you've put it out there that you are open to speaking to them about absolutely anything if they are going through a tough time. Because also at the end of the day, who's to say that they don't have anybody to go home and talk to?
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. And I think it also comes down to the kids don't want to go home and speak to their parents about it. They don't want to be like, listen, mom, dad, I'm really struggling at the moment. It's like, struggling at school. And I mean, obviously the stressing of school comes in now of their marks might not be the greatest. That's going to put immense pressure on them. They're going to struggle. That's a stressor now that's come to them. And something as simple as having a fallout with a group of friends at school as well. That's another stressor that's put onto them. So yeah, it's tough for them. But like, if you are able, something as simple as you now speaking out about anxiety and depression and that stuff, hopefully they will get across people as simple as school children, not just everybody on Instagram, to kids out there as well at school, that, the platform's there, speak. Because I promise you now, there's people that will help you. Yeah. There's people that will guide you through the process on how to tackle a certain task. If you're feeling down, go speak to someone. It's something as that. Hopefully that will get across that platform and quickly.
100% tell you, speaking from personal experience, I thought therapists were a waste of money.
Yeah.
I thought therapy was a complete waste of money, and because I had a very bad experience in 2012. I was in matric, into therapy, and I felt like everything that I said to this therapist, she just judged me, man.
Yeah.
I just sat there and I was opening up to her, and she just completely didn't take anything that I was saying and wasn't giving me any action to fix what was going on. And ever since then, I just thought nah, screw that. I'm not going to go to therapy.
Yeah.
And that's why for so long, I just thought to myself, well, just bottle everything up. Just bottle everything up. Just keep it to yourself. Don't speak about it because, who cares? Nobody actually gives a shit. Just get on with your life, sweep it under the rug. And then after getting to go to a healthy therapist that I've been going to for the past month, I've realized that, man, you can't put a price on mental health. Yeah. And there are people that will sit there and listen to your problems and will give you solutions to try and help you and to try and make you get better. And realize what you've done wrong as a person and how you have to fix certain things in yourself to be better, to do better. Because also at the end of the day, it's not all your fault. Yeah. And a lot of people, I think, sit there and think, well, so much of the stuff that's gone wrong is my fault. If I had have done this differently, then this wouldn't have happened. Yeah. But you can't sit there and put all of this pressure and all of this blame on yourself when a lot of the time there's other people involved too. Yeah.
I am going to kick back slightly on that. More from what I do personally. Yeah. So there's certain things, like let's say I have an argument with my girlfriend. Yeah. I say, no, it's my fault. If I am late, it's my fault. If a client is late, it's my fault. Because I'll look at all of it, and let's say the client is late. I'll say, no, it's my fault. I didn't message them 15 minutes before, just reminding them. Or I didn't do this. So I think for me personally, I like to take extreme ownership over everything. Yeah. So if I have an argument with my girlfriend, it never happens, guys. So let's say I have an argument with my girlfriend, right? I could look back at it and be like, yes, she's arguing back with me, but this could have been handled a lot better because I didn't need to argue maybe as much as I did. I didn't need to do this. Yeah. If I, with the client thing, half an hour before, I should have just messaged them, reminding them, please just be there 10 minutes before. Are you going to be on time? That was my fault that they're late. If I'm late for an appointment somewhere else, it's my fault because I didn't go in Waze and check how much traffic there was going to be. So there's certain things, like obviously, I mean, if I'm walking down the street and some guy flashes his winky at me, it can't be my fault.
No,
and like that,
I'd hope not.
Maybe I was asking
for
it.
Shit.
You're not asking for it.
Yeah, so there's certain things, obviously, that can't be your fault if it's something that you're definitely not involved in.
Well, if it's stuff that you can control, like we said, if you have control over it, then 100% you got to hold yourself accountable for it. So exactly what you said about having arguments with your girlfriend or your significant other, all that type of stuff. Man, something that I've realized is so much of it is it's just unnecessary. It's not worth it.
And I think a lot of it is just in terms of arguments with spouses or whatever. That's more. Wait, spouse is only when it's a wife, eh? Or can you refer to a girlfriend as a spouse?
No, that's a partner.
Yeah.
Partner. Okay, well, anyway.
Partners,
friends.
whatever the documents say that you have to fill in, it's that, bro.
Well, let's say anyone you have a relationship with, friend, mom, parents, whatever. I think any argument that continues, I think, is largely rooted in ego, to not want to be wrong, not want to look like you're not as smart as them, or not want to do anything. I think it's largely rooted in ego, because if you maybe just lower yourself in terms of, you know what, maybe take a step back and look at this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just arguing. I mean, how many times have you argued for the sake of arguing?
Yeah.
And I know, especially with girlfriends, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe just because we like to test them or whatever it may be. But a lot of the time, it's you actually 2 minutes into the argument to realize, like, okay, I'm actually wrong in this. But you just continue just out of ego.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of in anything in life, if you just lower your ego and just don't think you're so important, you can
rather lose an argument than lose the friendship or the relationship.
Yeah.
Because it will land up getting to that point.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm saying that it's not worth it. Rather, like you said, lower, just take a step back, cool off, admit when you're wrong, and think of ways that you can be better and do better.
So now for you two, and then obviously I want to answer as well. What do you think, like, it doesn't have to be like something that could be clinically diagnosed, but what do you think something about yourself that has brought about the most amount of mental anguish or emotional anguish that you go through? So it could be overthinking, it could be caring too much of what people think about you, it could be, trying to be perfect, it could be obviously it doesn't have to be something clinical like anxiety or depression or any of those types of things.
This is what I wanted to say to you, though, is what I feel is that so many people chase perfection when everybody is imperfect. Nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
And that's also something that everybody needs to realize, is that nobody will ever be perfect. You can always do stuff to better yourself, but understanding that you are not going to be perfect and accepting that.
That's also what movies and social media and all these celebrities has put out there, is like, these people are perfect, their life is perfect, their relationship's perfect, everything's perfect. Whereas you look at these people as they're people.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, obviously Kevin Hart
like
was here in South Africa this weekend. Kevin Hart is as much a normal person as we are, but we just think he's this amazing celebrity that always works hard, that never gets tired, never goes through anxiety or whatever. Just because he's super rich and everything. Yeah.
Saying all of this motivational, positive stuff. Man, I would say he probably lives to that, probably about like 50-60% of what they put out there. They don't sit there and they have the luxury of having assistants and trainers and dietitians and chefs and all that type of stuff. So you're not going to take the hard work away from them, because they obviously work extremely hard to get what they have. But they go through the same problems that we go through. Yeah. They go through the same trials. They have the same,
if not more.
100%.
Yeah. Being in the public eye like that, I think the amount of anxiety and, how you need to be perfect, how you need to look, how you need to present yourself is way more difficult than even we would need to do on this little podcast.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, crack under pressure.
Yeah.
A lot of people cope well with pressure, and a lot of people are just like, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And then they spiral downwards. They get involved with drugs because...
Well, I mean, look how many celebrities get involved in drugs. I mean, how many celebrities marriages last?
Yeah. No, it comes crumbling down very quickly.
Because everybody knows your business.
Yeah. But I think, but it's the same as that guy Twitch from Ellen DeGeneres as well. I mean, you look at him and he portrayed this. I mean, I had him on TikTok. I followed him on TikTok. And you look at all of his videos, you're like, oh, this guy's living life. He's dancing the whole time with his wife and his kids. He's smiling nonstop. He's happy. And then next minute you find out he's killed himself in a hotel room. And you're like, bro, like obviously the whole celeb status there comes into play a little bit. You don't know the lifestyle that he was going through, but it was just, it's crazy just to think how it just comes to an end so quickly. Because obviously you're trying to, and they're uploading this and keeping up this social image. Yeah. But I think I blame social media for this whole
100%
thing. It's the devil, bro.
Blame people.
Yeah.
Do you blame a gun for a mass shooting at a school?
No, 100% no. Okay, yeah. If you look at it from that perspective, yeah.
But the algorithms are definitely, obviously,
have an
choreographed
influence
to make people continue to do those things.
Yeah.
So, Chris, now with you to answer that question in closing, for you, what do you think about yourself, or things that you maybe, or way you think that brings you the most amount of like sadness or anger sometimes?
Bro, to be honest, I'm that type of person. I say this, I don't care what people think about me. If you want to have a perception of me, then you can have your perception of me. But at the same time, like, I'm obviously contradicting myself, and I also want to make people happy. I'm a person
so like
that,
a people pleaser.
Yeah, I'm a person that I don't like to let my friends down. I don't like to let anybody down. If I let somebody down and I can see I've let them down, I would say that brings about my sadness in terms of, you know, something with my girlfriend. It's like, okay, cool. I can see when I feel that I've let her down, and that will just bring my mood straight down.
Correct
and I'm like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, because I'm also like that.
Yeah.
And I think personally, for me, and it might be the same for you, it might be different.
Yeah.
Just to try psychoanalyze each other here. So for me, I like to never let people down.
Yes.
Because I don't want them to think less of me.
Yes.
So I don't want them to, I want them to always have such a high perception of me that I always want to make them happy and show them that I'm making them happy, and try always make sure that they're happy.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to disappoint them.
Yes.
So I want them to think more of me. So I want them to always be happy. So you almost go out of your way to make them happy.
Yeah.
So you're scared to, if they're not happy, then maybe they'll look at you and be like, well, Chris, bro, you said you were going to make dinner tonight. Why didn't you?
Yeah.
Instead, even if you're late from school, you will make sure that you've now made dinner.
Yes.
You don't want to disappoint her.
Yeah, but that's the thing, dude. It's, like I said, I'm contradicting myself and saying I don't care what people think about me.
But maybe the people closest to you.
Yeah, but I think, the outside world, if people want to judge me for being a certain way that I am, well, then fuck you guys. That's okay. That's your own opinion. I'm not worried. But like my inner circle, my family, friends, girlfriend, the whole works, everyone that I come into contact with, I don't want to disappoint them. I want to make sure that they're happy the whole time. Even if it means, and it's like, I will happily give my happiness for them to make sure that they are happy. Yeah. I'm happy to sacrifice a little bit of my happiness, even if it means my mood dampens a little bit. But I'm usually a person that my mood will dip for 15 minutes. I'll feel shit because, I want to make sure they're happy. But then I tend to bounce back quite quickly. I don't know if that's just my mindset of things. I'm like, okay, Chris, it's okay. Get over it. I'll speak to myself, talk to myself, and then next minute I'm okay. So maybe I'm just cooked in the head.
No, there's nothing,
I don't know.
There's
but that's how I operate.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you don't allow, like, you don't guilt trip them later. Like,
yes.
I know I've been in a position sometimes where I'll do something for them, sacrifice my own happiness.
Yes.
But then sometimes guilt them into, like, so like,
yes.
let's say you want to go out to a restaurant, you want to go out to McDonald's.
Yeah.
They want to go out to Burger King.
Yes.
Then you're like, okay, no shame. Let's do what you want to do. Let's go to Burger King. Then you're trying your Burger King, and then you're like, I would have loved some McDonald's now, baby.
Yeah.
No, let's rather do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Then you're not actually making them happy. You're guilting them.
Yes.
But so there's nothing wrong with making them happy. Your mood maybe dips a little bit, as long as you don't make them feel bad that you made them happy.
Yeah. But I think
as long as you continue and you maybe have that dip of happiness, but you don't show it, and then you kind of just get over yourself, and then you continue.
Yeah, that's literally how I operate. And I agree with the making them feel guilty part, because that's happened before, and I'm guilty of that. I've literally done that, where I'll be like, okay, no, we'll do what you want to do, but then I'll bring it up if in an argument for something like that, and I'm like, you idiot! Why do you go that route?
I think that's a male thing.
But I think that might be just me being a typical little boy, being pathetic about a situation. I'm like, I think of it, and I'm like, why did I bring that up now? It's completely irrelevant to the topic. I was doing something for them to make them happy, and then I hold them accountable for making them happy.
For your choice,
for my choice. So I'm just like, you're an absolute
idiot.
Yeah, you're just an absolute idiot, Chris. But that's the thing, bro. Like I said, I want to make people happy. That's my perception, and I strive for it even in the classroom. I try make my kids feel as comfortable as possible and try and make them the happiest. Make sure that when they come into my class, they are happy, that they actually enjoy coming to class, not only just to obviously learn, but they must be able to walk out of my class and be like, Fip, I love so I had a great lesson with him today. So
and my sister's a teacher too, and she also told me that a lot of the time there's a lot of kids, man, that go to school And school is actually the best part of the day because they have so many issues at home.
Yeah, it's their escape.
And coming to school is, like you said, it's their escape from reality.
Yeah.
So, you know, if they get a teacher that's miserable, moody, aggressive, doesn't want to help them, for them it's like, oh, well, I'm going from one extreme back to
another extreme. And there are those teachers out there. That's the thing, and that's
those are the ones that don't do it for passion. They're just doing it because it's a secure job.
But it pisses me off though. Like it's there are teachers out there, and they will literally go, like you mentioned, they're coming from a home where everything is crap. They want to come to school because it's going to help them. But then they come to that extreme now, where teachers like, ugh, you got 5 out of 30 again. You failed yet again. Like you're not gonna make it in life. You're not gonna get far. Like you might as well just leave the school now. Like
pulling them aside and saying to them, listen,
you know,
is everything okay?
Well, one of Jay-Z's songs, it was literally something about his teacher, and then it was something about how the teacher said he was never gonna make it.
Yeah.
And like you can't, obviously it still had a happy ending in terms of he achieved what he wanted to, but you can't tell a kid.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously you got a child. You can't in any way, even if you're like angry and you had a bad day, you can't now, because they're annoying you, say anything that could alter, you know, the rest of their life. Because we all probably have things that we remember maybe our parents saying once that we kind of didn't agree with, and that's kind of molded us into who we are today.
Yeah.
And that's just a little comment that they weren't maybe thinking about. They didn't mean, but we took it to heart, and now it's, you know, shaped our futures.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that. If you're constantly being told you're trash, or you're silly, or you're stupid, or you're dumb, or, you know, you're going to amount to nothing in life, eventually, if you get told it's to the point where it hits you hard, you're going to believe it, man. And you only just need to be told that once.
And then later in life, you aren't able to take compliments, or when you do well, you still feel like it's not good enough, and you're constantly trying to seek a certain amount of a level of achievement. Then you think, okay, now my parents would be proud, or now someone else would be proud of me. But it never happens, because if your mindset is always it's not going to be good enough, nothing's going to be good enough.
And that's just going to tie back that, and that will also that will also obviously tie back into the whole depressive state. And anxiety, feeling that that you'll never be good enough, and obviously you'll have such a bad relationship from people telling you those things that's where I think that not speaking out will come in from that as well. You're constantly being told. So you go and tell a therapist now, like you say, you've had a bad therapist. You thought in matric, nah, I don't want to. What do they know? They're just judging me for that. That's what going to be your mindset
just
then.
Taking my cash,
and then you see, there you go, it's just taking your cash, and that's probably what those people that get told that on a daily basis, like you're nothing, go on about that. They're going to end up just, you know, like, why am I around if I'm being told this? I can't speak out because people are going to tell me, no, but you are nothing then. It's an endless cycle. But there are ways to get out of that cycle.
This is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been told that men shouldn't speak. Men shouldn't have feelings. And I don't want to put it out there that it's just for men. It's for everybody, obviously. But from my side of things, I'm aiming to get to the men's perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do, to tell them that somebody may have told you, or you may have been brought up a certain way that's, you know, you can't do it. Keep everything to yourself. But I promise you, man, speaking out will probably be the best thing for you, and it'll be like a weight off of your shoulders.
Yeah. And we're not all tough boys.
So in closing, what brought about that decision to seek, you know, that help? And, you know, maybe someone might not be going through that exact same situation as you, but, you know, maybe just some advice for someone to seek someone out.
Man, I just got to a point where I just didn't want to carry on. And that's the most simplest thing that I can say is I didn't, not that I wanted to commit suicide, but I just didn't want to be on earth. Like I just wanted to just escape. And I couldn't speak about it. I didn't know how to explain it to anybody. I didn't know how to explain it to the people closest to me. And eventually I ended up losing the people closest to me. I realized that I can't do this going forward. I need to sort it out now. Because say for instance, I do get people coming back into my life again, and I need to be better for them.
Yeah.
and for myself.
Yes.
So I don't want to wait until it's too late. That's pretty much the best that I can explain it. So for me, it was just realizing that a change needed to happen, and it was getting help, man. And
it was extreme ownership for yourself, so that you can become better and then be a better person and have a better mindset and attitude for the people around you.
100%. And a lot of the time, you can't think of it for doing what you want to do for other people. You've got to do it for yourself. You have to want to be better, man.
Well, it's the same as addiction and drugs. Everyone can tell you to stop, but you're not going to stop until the day you decide that you need to do it.
Yeah.
You need to cut it out.
No, and I definitely think people need to take that into perspective, though. Like, if you realize that you are struggling, literally act. Do it for yourself. Don't wait.
I promise you, it will be the best decision that you can make.
And the weakest thing you can do is not seek help.
Yeah.
Man, that you hit the nail on the head. And that's exactly what happened with me. I thought that I was being the strongest and the toughest by not seeking help, but in actual fact, man, it was the worst move that a person can do.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
There you go.
Well, bro, thank you so much. And I definitely know people watching this, if they've got to this point and they do need help, I think maybe this will be that, you know, that little extra push to get them to seek help.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
Yeah. People, go speak out. You're not all tough. I promise you, boys. You're not tough. Exterior, you tough.
It's not
inside,
tough. You're not tough by being tough.
Yeah.
Like you actually, there's weakness in.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is you act tough. You put up this hard shell,
the facade,
and you maybe then aren't a good brother, you aren't a good friend, you aren't all of those things, and that's actually weakness. It's weaker to pretend to be tough, and then it affects your relationships.
100%, man. Hit the nail on the head again.
Cool. Well, thank you, bro, and thanks both of you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, thanks, Con. Lekker. Good
Cheers.
chat.